guys, I'm here to tell you about another pencil sharpener that was highly recommended to me, the Afmat PS10. And let's take a look down, and I'm going to show you how it sharpens and a couple of different added features with it. And so you can decide if this is a pencil sharpener that you would treasure and want to have. Okay, so we're looking at the Afmat PS10, the manual pencil sharpener. This one was highly recommended by pencil collectors that I follow online. I'm going to show you some of the features, but I'm going to tell you this is probably not my favorite sharpener. I think it's going to be good for you guys, for those of you who don't have a flat surface desk so that you can't use the vacuum mount Xacto, the Bulldog that I like. So in that case, this one is going to be good. If you have a wood table or a bumpy table, the suction won't work on the Xacto. So this one doesn't require suction, and I think can be useful in that case. So this one has a drawer that pulls out, which some people might like, but I find that it just means that junk gets stuck down there, and it's a little bit messier. The other feature that's kind of intriguing about this is that it has a piece of sandpaper right here. So if you want to be one of those people that sands the point of your lead to a different shape, you have that ability with this. And then another feature is that it has an adjustable point, which you can go from a really thick blunt end to a finer point. I still find that the fine point is not quite as fine as my trusty old Xacto Bulldog. So that's a big difference. And then, interestingly enough, it comes with this fancy, what they call a hex wrench, so that if you do get a lead stuck, you can pull out the drawer and try to poke the lead in from behind. What I use that doesn't have a fancy name is a paper clip, and I just unbend it and create the same action, and can do that in the Xacto just fine. So you don't need an extra part or an extra price tag in order to do the same thing with most of your pencil sharpeners. So let me show you the different points. Let me kind of wipe this stuff out of the way so that it will have a solid surface to sit on. So for the points, I have some Tombow homograph mono HBs. And let's see, we're going to go to the blunt point. So I've adjusted the dial over here to this blunt point. This is the point that I actually really don't like. So one thing that's interesting about this sharpener is you don't have to hold the pencil. It's very counterintuitive for me. I still find myself wanting to hold on to the pencil. And, you know, I recommend that you take the pencil out and rotate it, because otherwise you're going to see what you see here, which is that the lead, if you're only sharpening on one side of the barrel, you tend to get an uneven placement. So you want the part that's closer to the grinder to be dispersed to all the sides and not just stay on one side. So I don't know. And this is another challenge that I find with this one, is that I can't see which side the grinder is on, but I believe if I put it in this way, I'll be balancing it out. And you'll see at a certain point, the resistance should stop and you won't hear it as much. So we're still not quite there, but you can see it's a little bit more balanced. It's just a tiny bit thicker on this side. So if I can try to get that thicker side lined up. And it might just be that the pencil is off balance a little bit. Okay, so there you can hear it's much looser, quieter. So the pencil is finished being sharpened. So this is that thick edge. It's definitely sharpened the pencil off balance. I don't know if that's a product of the pencil or what, or if it's the pencil sharpener. But you can also see how incredibly thick this is in comparison to one that was sharpened with the point. It's almost like you're writing with a large blunt stick. I really don't like writing with this. I'll show you. I mean, I've got to get it centered. So that's an HB. Let me sharpen it with the fine point. So I'm going to click the dial all the way over to this narrow point. And these Tombos are a little bit thick for this sharpener. So again, partway through, I'm going to switch it around. This one looks like it's a little bit off center as well. Okay, so that is finished. And this is the fine point on a first sharpen. It's not fine to me. I think it's really like still quite a thick point. It's more evenly sharpened, so there isn't wood creeping up to the top. But that's still an odd sharpening to me. And I can't get it to sharpen anymore. So that's just going to be how it is when I first draw or write with it. And you can see that that's a little bit maybe thinner. This is a B, so it's slightly softer, but you can see that that thinness of the point is actually thinner, and it's not just because I'm writing somehow a little bit smaller. Oh, now I'm spelling writing wrong. Let's try that again. If I can spell right. So I don't think it's because I'm writing smaller, it's just that the point really is finer when I've sharpened it with another sharpener. So let me show you in comparison the Xacto, the Bulldog. Okay, so this is the Xacto Bulldog vacuum mount. This is my trusty standby. And I've got another HB Tombow here, and I'm going to show you the difference in the point. I think the other thing that's kind of interesting, now this one you do have to hold on to the pencil to feed it in. And it feels maybe a little bit rougher. And there you can tell it's sharpened. But check this out. The Afmat eats away so much of the barrel of the pencil, which some of you might like. It might make you feel like you're writing or drawing with a sword or something. But for me, it doesn't really make any difference in how the lead is being sharpened. So the way that the barrel, the wooden barrel is being sharpened, that really just doesn't matter. It's not relevant to how I'm using the tool. So to me, that's not a great benefit. And I want you to notice between the narrow point of the Afmat and the narrow point of the Xacto, how much narrower the Xacto point is. And so even with this fancy graphite or sandpaper within the sharpening container, why would I want to have to do that in order to get the same point? So for me, that having a fine point really makes a big difference in the amount of control I have in a drawing. And so I can get that in one step with a pencil sharpener that's half the price. And the only requirement is that I have a nice solid, smooth surface, which you would want for drawing anyways. So that is my opinion about the Afmat versus the Xacto, and I hope this helps you guys out. I'll have links below so you can check out either one and decide whether or not you want to purchase one. So thanks you guys for watching. It really helps me if you like and subscribe and share my videos. So I hope to see you again in another video.